Good morning to you. This is Breakfast Weekend on Impact Africa Television, IATV. I am Ayo Durojai. Thank you for joining us today. I am happy. Yeah, that's the word. To have my partner
in what?
I'm not going to say it. I have my partner in here with me this morning. Good morning, Olavuide.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It feels good to be back. The last time you saw me, I was somehow, and now
here we go.
You can see how I'm greeting you. You can see how I'm.
I get it. I get all the subtle messages. I only wish our audience do too.
Good morning, people at home, and it is so nice to be back. I am Olavuide Odekune. Welcome to Breakfast Weekend.
I asked how you're doing, boy. You're looking cool.
Yeah, I'm looking.
You should tell me the secret to all this, because Nigeria is not smiling. People are not looking cool at this time. So for you to look cool, please tell us the secret.
Well, it's I've been fine, as you can imagine. It's been pretty awesome, especially when it's cold, you know.
Bless me.
What is it?
No, nothing.
What exactly is the issue here? It's been pretty awesome, really.
Thank
really.
God.
It's been pretty awesome.
Thank God.
Especially when it is cold.
Thank God. Thank God. You've been hammering on the cold.
Of course.
Do you want me to ask you something?
No, you don't need to ask me.
I will. I will. How have you been handling the cold?
Well, there is always a way to handle cold in this part of the world. You know, you wear good sweatshirts and you wear jackets, and sometimes you use the cover.
Human cover.
Yeah, I don't understand that one. But talking about the weather condition, really, it's been pretty hot around this time. You know, recently.
Except for last night. Last night was a weather made in heaven. It was perfect. The rain wasn't too much. It was cool.
It was cool.
The
really.
breeze was blissful.
It was cool.
But prior to that time, boy.
Someone actually said that there must be some renovations going on in heaven.
It was hot.
Because it was hot.
The earlier part of this week, I don't know how anyone would survive without some level of air conditioning, whether the proper AC or hand fan or ceiling fan, something to mitigate.
Yes, and that's because, and that takes me to what someone said. You know, it's a revelation of two realities. That someone went from Ibadan to Lagos, where it is expected to be hotter, and then said, "Look, it's not. I didn't feel the heat." Said, "How come?" Then she said, the car that took me from Ibadan to Lagos, I felt AC, and then the hotel I stayed, AC, the hall where the events took place, AC all through the week, AC. And so you're going to be thinking about that, really. Okay, come. Some people they could access AC in the heat. And then some people were in the AC-less environment. And then two realities.
And, you know, moving away from the reality, a lot of people just, over the course of the week, you just see a lot of people talking about the heat. Oh, this is hot. This is uncomfortable. What's going on and all that. But nobody is actually either asking the right questions. Why is this hot? And nobody is giving the answers to the right questions, even when they're asked. Like, okay, this is the reason. It looks like nobody actually wants to take responsibility as far as I'm concerned. We've been hearing talks of global warming. We've been hearing talks of climate change over and over again. And several things have been preferred as ways to help us cope with the implications of the global warming when it comes. However, you don't see a lot of people making use of those suggestions. People have talked about paper bags. We were talking earlier. Yeah. People were talking about planting trees. You see a lot of people moving into new areas, cutting down trees, cutting down everything, and not replanting anything of some sorts. No flowers, nothing to give back to the ecology.
Someone was even talking about...
complaining of heat. I think we've just started.
No, I have not started. I think I'm going to leave the bushes around my house a little while. I won't do away with them. How about that? That should be good.
Bushes are not good. Bushes. No. Let me educate you. It's not about leaving bushes. If you're going to have trees or whatever around
But you just talked
make
about
sure that
green.
it's safe. Yes, we need a level of vegetation or greenery around.
Okay.
However, it doesn't mean you should now house yourself beside wild animals.
Of course.
That's not what we're talking about.
I just needed to say that. I just needed to say that.
And I don't know. It rained yesterday, and we don't know what's going to happen. The weather is on its own at this time.
Yeah.
But then, as the show progresses, probably towards the end, would give some suggestions on how to keep cool at this time, how people can keep themselves cool at this time. But moving away from the weather, one other place that was hot, has been hot actually for some time, has been the usual northern part of Nigeria, where bandits, especially in Zamfara this time around, where bandits have been causing all sorts of mishap. And it's so sad because prior to this, they are just called bandits. Nobody has actually found a particular name for them. And the issue has just continued to grow. There's been a level of growth to the issue. First, it was just, bandits are raiding houses, killing people, innocent lives are being lost. And then it graduated into the fact that, it's not just random people doing this. It's a clash between local miners, foreign people somewhere. That's
exactly what I wanted to say, because it goes beyond. This is some group doing so. It's
They're
actually
not faceless.
It's actually a war between some identifiable people. Yes. Would we say we do not know these local miners? Would the police in that environment say they do not know them? No, no one would tell us that. This is because these are people we relate with every day. They know them. As a matter of fact, some people have accused that, I'm just saying, that we shouldn't exonerate the police in that environment from this.
So with the amount of lives lost, really ridiculous numbers of people, women and children inclusive, losing their lives, do you actually believe reports that people would know the killer of their neighbors, of their children, their husbands, family members, and then just let them walk free?
Come to think of it, these are people, okay, this is our thing. It's our thing, and we're trying to protect our thing. The people taking our thing, in quote, are the ones attacking us. So it's not about...
Should there be a reason for an attack in the first place?
No, don't get it wrong. What I'm saying is this. We are trying to fight to protect our things.
Fight who?
Fight the miners, the Onyibos.
Okay.
So the Onyibos are paying some others to fight us. That's it. The Onyibos are the ones paying others. So it's about information, the wrong information being passed. That's why some people feel the police in that environment cannot be exonerated.
However, on the federal level now, I'm glad that the Nigerian army have intervened.
Yeah.
All manners of operations have been launched, and just this morning I saw a report that the forest known to house some of these bandits have been raided, and some of their informant suppliers have been arrested. I know that a number of money has also been released or approved for helping or mitigating the pressure that some of the displaced persons, people who lost maybe their homes, maybe their parents or their family, as a matter of fact, some monies have been released to help them cope. And I see a situation though, Olaboyede, where people, or rather Nigeria as a whole, we are quite good at curative measures. This thing has happened.
What about
we need to release this. We don't really prevent things. We don't really prevent things. And as far as I'm concerned, the same dancing around, yes, we're doing some level of work. I won't take that away. But then the real thing that should be done, the decisive hammer that should be, done, as far as I'm concerned, is not being worked on. People just keep dancing around until it grows into a crazy thing. Look at Boko Haram. Look at the herdsmen issues. And now we are having bandits.
Look at we should start from the Niger Delta. You should start from the Niger Delta. If you look at it, you would see that there had been information long before then. I read an article some time ago where a former ambassador said he heard about Boko Haram long before their first attack, and he brought it to the notice of the Nigerian government, and nothing was done. I think that
may not be true.
That's what he said.
Well, you need to put that it was an allegation.
That's what he said.
You can. What was an allegation, please? I don't know about that though. I don't know about Laboy. They say all these things.
That's what he said. That he actually said nothing was done. That wasn't my voice. That's what I read at that time. But it's okay. Allegation. Allegation. Right. So, well, God help us in Nigeria.
That's where we always. I was waiting for you to say that. I was surprised if you didn't. Myself. God will help us if we help ourselves first. I think people need to put that at the back of their minds. People need to wake up. And then I'm looking forward to a Nigeria that is aware that we are our own first police people, we're our own policemen. We need to intensify policing, community policing. If you see something, please say something. You know, a lot of people wait till a number of people, let somebody else say it now. Must I be the first person to initiate it? You see it, tell somebody. Another person sees it, tell somebody. Imagine if, even when it had gotten worse, all the way from Zamfara, from the extreme part of Nigeria, we heard it because somebody decided to speak. Imagine if nobody was still talking. Imagine if Kadaria didn't even didn't join the conversation. I think people need to, the moment something starts, like you said, the guy who said he said something, what if he didn't say anything? Or because of, you know, the allegation that nobody did anything, he decides the next time that he won't say something. I think people need to always speak out, no matter what it looks like would happen. But then, moving away from that, boy.
Another interesting thing that happened in the course of the week is that a state assembly decided to say, oh, guys, come. You're spending too much on funerals. Let them go. And just... Anambra State House of Assembly actually said to the citizens of the state and said, look, guys, you cannot spend this. You cannot have this kind of thing during funeral ceremonies. You cannot... I don't know how. How is that their business? That's the question someone was asking me.
Who asked you?
Business?
Who asked you? I asked you because I don't see it. I don't see how. I mean, we just concluded elections, and I saw a lot of campaign promises. Okay. I saw a lot of things that people promised the people will make life better. Okay. And no matter how long you expect that will take, you want to see steps being taken to make life better. Okay. Not just some, as far as I'm concerned, random. Okay, let's introduce this.
If it was important enough to have come up on the floor of the house, I don't think that thing was just, let's just introduce thing kind of thing.
Okay, tell me how it affects the average Anambra resident. Let's
not forget that in the society we are, in fact, generally, your environment can determine your worldview. Okay. And then, if Mr. A decides to bury his grandmother a certain way, let's not forget the things contained in that statement. Said there should be no gunshots. There should be no road blocking when you are celebrating the life and times of your deceased. Now, when you begin to consider all these contents, some people there may actually benefit. Come to think of it, Mr. A decides to bury his grandmother a certain way, okay, and then spends a lot of money, throws cash in there. Don't you think that can influence some people's decisions as well? Don't you think it might? I mean,
I like the ones you mentioned on that bill. Also on it, we're seeing situations. It also included the fact that people shouldn't extend their funerals past 1 day.
1 day.
Some things are cultural, some things are traditional. even the shooting of guns, traditional gun shooting and all that. I think it's a rite of passage of some sort for some tribes. And so when we are introducing some things, yes, it's done a certain way in the Western world. I think we should also put it at the back of our minds that people will not let go of their cultures / traditions that easily. It's going to take a while. It's going to some people tell you to take some level of appeasing to the gods. Some people tell you, oh, this person may not cross over properly if we don't do what we are supposed to do because it's a traditional right. Do you know? I think at this stage, it's a time we are trying to protect our culture. It's a time we're trying to shield whatever is remaining of the things that are originally ours. What I feel should be introduced in that light, you know, as it concerns that, is the fact that how can we make it safe? You know, sit down with people. In the first place, I see a situation. I see something happening where people begin to feel that you talk to us about what you want to do for us, but then you get to the platform that we voted you in, and then you begin to do the things that you feel would be good for us.
I wouldn't say it that way. Why?
Okay.
Really? I wouldn't say it that way. Okay. How would you explain subjecting? The bill says that nobody should subject anybody to a certain number of days of mourning.
Okay.
That's culture too, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So what do we derive from it?
It's culture. A lot of people will tell you it's culture.
Look, when some things are inexplicable, we find something to hide it under.
Really?
That's how I see it. How could you say that it's
the fact that they are subjected to the number of days? I don't think that is the issue. I think the issue would be the things that some parts of Nigeria maybe get themselves involved in. Maybe subjecting maybe the widow or the widower to some form of harmful whatever practices. Maybe that is wrong. But that a person mourns for a particular number of time or particular number of days, that should be removed. Because the Oyinbo person doesn't go through. I
don't think it's about Oyinbo here.
What is it about?
I don't think it's about Oyinbo here. I think the State Assembly is just trying to let us see more reasons to be more productive with our time and resources.
Well,
I don't think it's an Oyinbo thing.
Well, also in the course of the week, Unilag convocated about thousands of students, and then of those thousands, we had about 300 graduating with first class. Okay. That was a great thing. That was a very happy thing as far as I'm concerned. However, a lot of people questioned the credibility of that distinction. A lot of people are asking the question of, okay, if we don't have first class classes, we don't have first class lecturers, we don't have first class facilities infrastructure wise, how then can we say that we're having first class students? You know, okay. that was a question a lot of people, and it generated a lot of reactions.
Okay.
I aligned with those who, truth be told, somebody brought up the issue of sometime in the past, our lecturers, most top-rated authors in Nigeria at that time were lecturers because they had that content. They were giving it out because they were so full of it. But now, how many lecturers? I mean, they write researches, they write all these reports. They may not necessarily be at the top of the hierarchy when we're talking about authors in Nigeria.
Okay, yeah, as much as I am tempted to agree with you, however, we should also consider the fact that what makes these people first class is contextual. Okay, they awarded the first class based on what they were exposed to, right?
Sure.
Based on what they exposed the students to. Okay, and if they were exposed to a certain degree and they measure up to that degree or even beat it, I don't think they shouldn't be awarded.
Yes, no, nobody's saying they shouldn't be awarded.
We may not have, these schools may not have a first class, like you said, first class infrastructures, first class, all of that. However, you were saying before we came on that these first class guys, can they compete on a global plane? Now, and I said, okay, if they were first class in your world, if they are actually first class should be first class everywhere. And my point is, although first class should be first class everywhere, but first class in Russia may not be first class in the United States, because they are not on the same curriculum. They are not on the same, they do not operate the same thing. The environment, the US environment, the US learning environment is different from others. So if they are awarded first class at Unilag, doesn't mean they cannot be first class any other place. That's my point.
I don't quite agree with you, but I'll let our audience keep ruminating over that. We have overshot our time. This is Breakfast Weekend. On our platter today, we have a number of things already lined up for your pleasure, things that would stir you. Entrepreneurial wise, because we have a number of entrepreneurs coming on board today.
Yeah.
Also, as our topical issue, we're going to be looking at transition committees that have been established, at different platforms. And we're looking at their roles and their importance. Are we utilizing them as they should? Are people cooperating with them? What should we expect? I mean, this is supposed to be a platform that allows easy handover, takeover kind of situation. So would we actually have that? Or maybe the first month into somebody taking over power, we're already hearing stories. This is Breakfast Weekend, like I said. Sit back, relax, enjoy yourself. We'll be back.